Madungkan ko?
Yes, ma'am. Adobra ka, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, first guys, I really do apologize for the long wait. Niuli pa ko para ko sa unang original file. So, I'm very sorry. So, right now, by the way, kumusta inyong prelim exam in numerical methods? So far, unsa may mga na-visualize ninyo? Mhm. Hello?
Challenging.
Guys, kadungog ra man ako. Murag hinay ra akong madungog sa inyong mga tingog.
Madungog ra ka, ma'am.
Let's do first attendance. Let's make this quick. Numerical methods. Okay. Ronilo Jose.
Present, miss.
Okay. Anonigo. Kapisnon.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Janice.
Present, ma'am.
Regine.
Present, ma'am.
Norwen.
Present, ma'am.
Miles.
Present, ma'am.
Eric. De la Victoria. Aldrin.
Present, miss.
Mario.
Present, miss.
Tobias.
Present.
Lawrence.
Present.
Andio.
Present, ma'am.
Jamaica.
Present, miss.
Jamaica.
Present. Present, miss.
Okay, Rosemary.
Present, ma'am.
Kenneth.
Present, miss.
Jessica.
Present.
Linz.
Present, ma'am.
Irvin.
Present, ma'am.
Ben.
Present, ma'am.
Noel.
Present, ma'am.
Alexandre.
Present, miss.
Rex. Is Rex around? Ivan.
Present, ma'am.
Rovik.
Present, miss.
Earl.
Present, miss.
Mark.
Present, miss.
Gabriel.
Present, miss.
Carlos. Wala ba si Carlos? Okay. Okay. So, ang wala na ko matag as present diri is si Rex, si Eric. Only those two. Okay. So right now, guys, I will be sharing, since wala may matubag sa akong pota na ganina, I will be sharing a PowerPoint. There. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. Now, for another topic, guys, we will be discussing about the iterative bracketing methods. Now, what are those iterative bracketing methods? Now, the iterative methods, guys, are based on the idea of successive approximation, diba? Based on our definition for numerical methods, it really needs to have tedious solution. It needs real focus, labi na magbalik-balik ang atong solution ng mga numbers nga perting pagkatag-asa. Now in here, in bracketing methods, guys, it has the same idea with our now there are a lots of there are steps that um process nga need ninyo i-follow to get the root or the solution for that specific problem. By the way, guys, bisection method is sometimes called binary chopping, interval halving, or the what we so called Bolzano's method. It is an incremental search method in which the interval is always divided in half. Now in here, you can see there the steps. Okay, we have the step one. Choose lower XL, X sub L, and upper X sub U. Elements the lower limit, and the X sub U is for the upper limit. Guesses for the root. Now for the second step, we have an estimate of the root X sub R is determined by the formula X sub R equals X sub L plus X sub U divided by 2. Now for the third step, you can see there that make the following evaluations to determine in which subinterval the root lies. If f of x sub 1 multiplied by our f of x sub r is less than 0, then the root lies in the lower subinterval. Therefore, you must set x sub u equal to x sub r and then return to our step 2 here. Can you see my cursor, guys?
Yes, ma'am. Kita na, ma'am.
Okay. After this step 3, section A, you must return into this step 2. Now for the section B, if f function of x sub L multiplied by our function f sub x sub r, if it is greater than 0, then the root lies in the upper subinterval. Therefore, you must set x sub L equals to x sub R and then return to step 2. Again. And for our last or the C section of our third step, if a function of x sub L multiplied by our function x sub r is equals to 0, then the root must be equals to x sub r. You must set the root as equal to x sub r. Therefore, you can terminate the computation. So far, do you have question with regards to the steps, again, we have here the first step, you must choose the lower XL and upper XU guesses for the root. For the second, step is you need to estimate of the root XR that must be determined by the formula x sub r equals x sub L plus x sub U divided by 2. Because it is given for our definition, di ba? Repeatedly dividing the interval or half. That's why gitawag sad ang bisection method o what's the word again? Gitawag sad siya o binary chopping or internal halving. Okay, that's for the second step. This is for the third step. The third step comprises with 3 sections. This is the first section. This is the second section, and this is the third section. Now, for an example of the bisection method, you can see here. Okay, I put here. Okay, find the root of an equation f of x equals x cubed minus x minus 1 using bisection method. And I've gihatag na ko diri ang value sa or guesses sa x sub L o x sub Q, which is 1 and 2 respectively. Now, for the first iteration, 'di ba, in the first what do you call this? In the first step, guys, you can see there the um first step. Can you see my cursor or no? Hmm.
Dali, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Guys, okay, dali na lang. Now, in the first step, 'di ba, we need to choose the lower XL and upper X sub U guesses for the root. In here, I already gave it to you. That's 1 and that is 2. Okay, now for the first iteration, we must start in this. Estimate of the root XR is determined by this formula. Now for the first iteration, we have there x sub r equals x sub L per x sub U. We have our x sub L as 1. We have x sub U as 2 divided by 2. So that would be 1.5 ang value sa atong x sub r. Now next, we must make evaluation to determine in which subinterval the root lies. Okay. We must get first, di ba in here, we need to multiply man. Function of x sub r and functions of x sub L. Di ba? So we need to get the function of x sub r with regards or in terms sa atong equation. Okay, that f of x sub r equals, let our x be our x sub r, values at x sub r. Diba? X sub r cubed minus x sub r minus 1. We have the value of x sub r as 1.5, right? So, substitute 1.5 cubed minus 1.5 minus 1, it is equals to 0.875. Calculate it, guys, if it is correct on your end. Hmm. Nag-calculate mo?
Sakto ra, Vince.
Sakto ra. Okay, nanatay value sa atong f of x sub r o function sa atong x sub r in terms of our equation. Okay, next. Atong paitaon, function ni f of function x sub L, I mean. So, we need to do this x in here, di ba? Muna siya x, but atong paitawon sa x sub L man. So, we need to do this. X sub L cubed minus x sub L minus 1. And we need, and I mean, di na to need. It's already given, the value of x sub L, which is 1 in here. So, that is 1 cubed minus 1 minus 1, it is equals to negative 1. Okay, now we have already our f of x sub L and f of x sub R, right? So we can evaluate to determine which subinterval must the root lie. A in here. This is the process. Multiplying those two, we have our x sub L as -1. We have our x sub r as 0.875. So that would give us negative 0.875. And negative 0.875 is less than our 0. Asa siya nga section na belong or na fall? Is it section A, B, or C?
Section A, ma'am.
A, very good. Section A. If f of x sub L multiplied by our function of x sub r less than 0, the root lies in the lower subinterval. Therefore, we must set x sub u, our new x sub u, as equal to our x sub r, and then we must return to our step 2. There. X sub u in here, di ba? X sub u, x sub r. So our new, ang atong karaan nga x sub u is 2. Right? Ang atong new x sub u, given ani nga evaluation, it must be 1.5. The same as our x sub r. Nakasabot ra ba sa evaluation?
Ma'am. Tabot ra, ma'am.
So far,
Yes.
guys?
Gets ra, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, let's proceed to our second iteration. For the second iteration, wala mausabang atong x sub L, right? It's still 1. 1 gyapon na siya. But our new x sub u, given this condition or evaluation, 1.5 na siya. So, ibutan na to diri, new x sub u is our 1.5. And let's do again the step 2. Diba? After evaluation, you must return to step 2. Diba? Except sa atong section C. Ano sa may atong formula? It's the same here. Okay, that's x sub r equals 1 plus our new x sub u, 1.5 divided by 2, that is 1.25. And given those 1.25 value, may tao na to ang function ni x sub r. Given, using gihapon sa ito equation, that's x cubed minus x minus 1. Naman tayo bago nga value na x sub r, itong i-input si x sub r sa atong equation. That's 1.25 cubed minus 1.25 minus 1. That is negative 0.29688. Now, for our function of x sub L, nadiretso na ako guys ha. The same here. Diba? We need to multiply x sub r and x sub L. Wala man mabago sa x sub L. So we have the same function gap, the same value gihapon sa atong function of x sub L, which is 1. Now, doing the evaluation, this is negative 1 multiplied by our negative 0.29688, which is our function sa itong x sub r. Ang resulta na is 0.29688, which is greater than 0. So therefore, based our section B, x sub L must be set equal to x sub r, which is our atong x sub r is 1.25. So from before, earlier, ang nabago na to sa x sub u. Karon sa x sub L na pod. That is the new value. Now guys, karon on your end, I will let you do the third and the fourth iteration. Okay, using this formula or step. Okay? Can you solve the third and the fourth iteration? Let's see if we have the same answer. Okay, guys, go. You can start now answering. Are you still there?
Yes, miss.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay guys, pila answer sa atong? Who can give me the third and the fourth iteration? Hello? Who can give me their fourth and third iteration? Pero wala man ako guys. Okay. Now for the third and the fourth, we have our new XL man, diba? That is 1.25. And our X sub u is the same. That is 1.5. Now, doing the step 2, you can see there, we can have the new X sub r, that is 1.375, atong giadang duha divided by 2. And given that new X sub r, itaw na to ang values of function sa X sub r in terms of this equation. And that would give us 0.2246. And also, our x sub L, functions at x sub L in terms of equation, main equation here, okay, that's 1.25 cubed minus 1.25 minus 1. That would give us negative 0.29688. Parehara ba tag answer?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, miss.
Okay. Now, for evaluation, function of x sub L multiplied by our function of x sub R, that would yield us with negative 0.0667, and that evaluation value is less than 0. Therefore, we must set our x sub U equal to our x sub R. Dili ni siya na fall sa atong section A in step 3. So, atong new values, atong x sub U is 1.375. Before, that's 1.5. Now, for the fourth iteration, we still have the same values atong x sub L from our third iteration and our x sub U atong bago nga value. So, doing the second step, again, makakuha tao 1.3125. And getting the function of x sub R using that 1.3125, mahatag na siya og negative 0.0515. And ang atong function sa x sub L, it's the same. That is negative 0.2966688, I mean. And doing the evaluation, that would give us 0.0153, and that is greater than 0. Therefore, we must set our x sub L equal to our x sub R, and that is 1.3125. Parehara ba tag answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, miss.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Right now, diha ra ko nikutom sa atong fourth iteration. Kay I believe taas-taas na siya nga iteration, guys. In this bisection method, or in this iteration, iterative bracketing method, guys, we're gonna need to use the criterion. 'Di ba? Remember mo sa atong criterion nga formula? Unsa man to nga formula ba? Hello? What's the formula? Guys? Unsa man to formula sa atong pre-specified criterion? That is 0.5 times 10 raised to the power of 2 minus n. Can remember na? That's 0.5 times 10 raised to the power of 2 minus n, and that is on percent form. Okay? Can remember ba? Sa itong specified percent tolerance or ang ginatawag nga criterion?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Now, our tolerance, guys, must be our EA, epsilon A, must be less than sa atong error criterion. Remember mo? Asa na ito yung SWOT B? It's ES is 0.5 times 10 2 minus n, and that is on percent form. And in order for us to know when tamo stop sa atong iteration process, EA must, ay, hindi na siya equal. Sorry. Less than na siya, less than atong ES. Right? Natakol naman na ito, di ba? During our problem nga discussion.
Oh.
Guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, miss.
Okay. Okay. Now there, magamit kaya pag table. Because in order for us to know unsa atong A, we must use this formula, error estimation formula. That is x sub r new minus x sub r o divided by our x sub r new. Familiar mo ani nga formula from our last nga PowerPoint presentation sa ato prelim discussion.
Yes, miss.
Guys, unsa man na siya nga formula? Kaparihan.
Estimated
Is
absolute
the
percent, miss.
yes, that's very good. That's estimated absolute percent relative error. Sa mga wa nakahinumdum, palihog kong hinumdum. EA, that is estimated absolute percent relative error. Do you have copies man sa inyong notebooks, di ba? Inyo ba nang timan-an na ba mo'y ka ng butanganan sa mga formula? Or do you want me to show it again sa PPT? Guys?
Pwede ipakita lang balik, ma'am.
Okay, this is, ato na siya i-cancel. Kana, kita ra?
Yes, ma'am. Makita ra, ma'am.
Okay. Now in here, we have the estimated, di siya po absolute relative, percent relative error. May kung ikong estimated absolute error ra guys. Mura ni siya ang formula ha. Okay. Absolute error, estimated absolute error. Moingon gay ko og estimated absolute relative error na may formula na. Guys, mayroon kong estimated absolute error, mora ni siya. Mayroon kong estimated absolute relative error. That would be current. Yes, wala ra siya multiplied by 100. That is only current divided minus previous divided by current in absolute form. Wala na siya. May ngayon ko per absolute percent. Nanagin na siya percent diha, mo na ni siya. Okay? Wala? Naglibog
ma'am.
ba?
Kuha na, ma'am.
Gets ra, ma'am.
Okay. Now, in here, di ba, atong first value sa exam R is 1.5. Atong second value is 1.25. Our third value is 1.375. And our fourth value sa atong exam R sa atong fourth iteration is 1.3125.
男子の競争心に火をつけた。興味のないモノスを巻き込んで、第1回 A 組ベストセンス決定戦が今、始まる。いいのか、果たして、いいのか。
Dongga, palihog ko. Okay. Okay. Now, going back sa atong PowerPoint, we have the error estimate here. That is x sub r new minus x sub r old divided by our x sub r new divided by 100. Guys, I can makabantay ko from our last exam, giapin nilag multiply ang percent. Only multiply 100. It is on percent form. Diba? Ayaw i-multiply ang percent o kapil. Ayaw i-input sa calcu ang percent. 100 ra. And then you make it or you write it on percent form. Kasabot. And ako'y mabantayan, i-appeal o multiply ang percent. Muna ni gamay samot. Okay. Now in here, atong last nga x sub r new is 1.3125. Ba? 1.3125 ang atong old or previous ni nga what do you call this? X sub r value is 1.375. Now we have here our error estimate as 4.7619. Sakto ba? Let me calculate it again. Okay, sakto ra. 4.7619. Di ba raman mo mubutang og absolute nga mode sa calculator, right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Everyone?
pwede, ma'am. Ang saan din, ma'am?
Shift height. Kita mo na sa inyong calculator na x squared. Ubos ana na height. Baba ng height na abs. That means absolute. You need to press shift kay naka-yellow si abs. Shift, pinutunin mo si height. That is absolute.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Kita ka ba sa inyong calculator? I don't know sa other nga model sa calculator, but in my calculator, inana ang setup. Ubos siya sa x squared. Okay. Now, we must take note that the lesser the error, the better. But during maybe our sa atong exams or quizzes, guys, I will give error criterion or the asa takutob, asa ninyo, what do you call that? That's pre-specified nga percent tolerance asa mo kutob para ma-terminate ang inyong iteration. Kaya di man sad pwede mo labas na mo og 20. Kaya I know dili sayon mo iterate o kadaghan labi nag portenta asa sa numero makaliwat ang numero. So far nakasabot ra ba sa atong bisection method?
Yes, ma'am. Nakasabot ra.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now when I did what they call this? Di ba sa four what I forgot that term. On the fourth iteration naman ako gi-cut off, no? I tried to solve this, guys. And in here, we have the curve or graph niya asa ma-fall ang atong root sa atong equation. Di ba? Ato ang ang pangutana is find the root of an equation kani x cubed minus x minus 1, right? Mo na tong ipangita nga may og root ka nga equation. And when I tried to solve this, ang maduol-duol niya sa kay ang root ani guys is 1.325 man. Ang maduol-duol ani niya nga iteration is between I think 18 or 19 nga iteration. I tried to solve it on my end before. Na siya sa 18 to 19 iteration. Daghan pa na siya og kanang mga round off. But if you do the 9 decimal places or maybe 9 significant figures, makuha jud din nato siya pinpoint nga 1.325. Okay? So if you want to solve it or prove it nga asa kutob nga iteration si 1.325, you can do it on your end. Do you have question with regards to bisection method? Class, do you have question?
Wala ra, ma'am.
Okay. Now, going to our second type sa iterative method is for the false position method. Now, what is a false position method? It is an alternative method which joins the function of our x sub l and function of our x sub u by a straight line. The intersection of this line with the x-axis represents an improved estimate of the root. The fact that the replacement of the curve by a straight line gives a false position of the root. Now, from our bisection method, guys, di ba gikuha na to ang guess ni XL o ni X sub U, i-divide na to og 2, diha ta mo evaluate para makita na to asa nilay ang atong root. Now, in here, ni-represent, it uses a straight line. Okay? May taon niya ang function sa atong guesses, which is our X sub L and our X sub U. And gibutangan siya og straight line, di ba? Nani siya curve, right? Ang iyang, makita na mo sa akong cursor?
Oo, ma'am, makita.
Okay. Di ba natay point diri nga asa nilay si X sub L, napoy point diri nilay asa si X sub U. Gibutangan na siya diha og straight line, di ba natay curve pa curve diha nga graph. And butangan na niya nga straight line kung asa nag-meet si curve, asa nga point nag-meet si curve og si straight line na daw diha ang atong exact nga root sa atong equation. And that gives a false position of the root because imo rang i-connect si x sub u og si x sub l, diha nimo makita daw nga diha si root mo lie. Now it has the same step except for number 2. Now for the step 1, we must still choose the lower x sub l and the upper x sub u guesses for the root. For the second step, guys, it has different formula. It is an estimate of the root x sub r. An estimate, by the way, of the root x sub r is determined by natin bago nga formula. That is x sub r equals x sub u minus atong function sa x sub u multiplied by the quantity of the difference of the x sub l and the x sub u divided by the function of x sub l minus the function of x sub u. Now for the third step, it has the same, guys. It has the same section, but we must take or we must consider the second step formula. We have the same section A, f of x sub L multiplied by f of x sub R less than 0. Then the root lies in the lower subinterval. Therefore, we must set x sub u equals ni x sub R and return to the step 2, which is the formula for the false position method. Now, for the letter B or the section B, we have the same um, Function of x sub L multiplied by the function of x sub R greater than 0 ganit siya, then the root lies in the upper subinterval. Therefore, we must set x sub L equals to x sub R and return to step 2. And for the section C, f of x sub L multiplied by our f of x sub R equal to 0, then the root is equals to x sub R, then that's the time you terminate the computation. And now for the, by the way, na I question with regards sa steps to be followed sa atong position method.
Wala ra, ma'am.
Okay. Now we have example here. Okay. Find the positive real root of an equation f of x equals ln of x squared minus 7 using false position method, having the initial guesses of x sub L as 0.5 and x sub U as 2. So manata sa atong step 1. We must do our step 2 for the first iteration. That's the formula. And our x of f of x sub U would on gagawa na ako na solve si x sub R. Yes, wala pa akong kasolve na x sub R. So, we need to solve, in order for us to solve x sub R, paitaon sa nato si, makita ra mo sa akong pen here.
Oo, magita.
Okay. Now, in the formula, we must get the nata x sub L. Yes, natin value. Natin value ni x sub U. But we need to find first the value of our function ni x sub U and also the function ni x sub L para makuha na to si x sub R. So, for the function of x sub U, in terms of this equation, pila man itong x sub U? Diba 2? Right? So, imo ra nang i-input si 2 sa value ni x dire sa formula. Or sa equation I mean. So, ln x sub U squared minus 0.7. So, that would be ln of 2 squared. Okay, dili sila tanan ang i-square, guys. Kaya basin ibutan niyo sa calculus, sila tanan mo naka-squared. Okay, si x sub U ang naka-squared. Copy?
Copy, ma'am.
Guys? Okay. Wala siya diha. Si 2 ra ang naka-square, dili appeal si ln. So that would give us 0.6863 na natay value ni function of x sub U. Now next, we must get the function of x sub L. Natay x sub L na 0.5. So that would be ln of 0.5 squared minus 0.7. That is negative 2.0863. Okay, kompleto na ba atong mga values to get our x sub R? Yes, kompleto na siya. So, we must get the x sub R. So, x sub U that is 2. A function of x sub U that is 0.6863. X sub L is 0.5 minus ni 2 na x sub U divided by function x sub L here minus function ni x sub U. X sub L, x sub U in here. Okay, so that would give us 1.6287. Naka-follow ra ba so far? Guys?
Oo,
Yes,
follow.
ma'am.
How about the others?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, miss.
Okay. Now we must get the function of our x sub R because we need to do the evaluation next, the step 3, right? So we have the value of our x sub r 1.6287. Ato ra na siya ibutang sa equation. So that would be ln of 1.6287 squared minus 0.7. That is 0.2756. So na naman tayo function ni x sub l, na po tayo function ni x sub r. So we must do the evaluation. There. Negative 2.0863 multiplied by our 0.2756. That would give us negative 0.5749. That is less than 0. So we must set our x sub u equal to x sub r. That is 1.6287. And that falls in our section A in our step 3. So far, nakakuha ra ba?
Excuse me, ma'am, kaning negative 7 na, ma'am, or 0.7 ang negative 0.7 ang kaning given sa babaw, ma'am.
0.7 na tayo. Sorry.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Let me try. Basta ko rin na sa'yo. Hold on. L and 0.5 squared. Okay. 0.7 na siya dahil 0.7.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Now, right now, guys, I let you do sa ano, inyo naman ang i-follow ang formula. Di ba? Usa raman yung formula yung sag-uhon na. And also, you must familiarize the steps, the step 1, 2, 3, and for the third step na atay tulong ang section. Okay? I will let you do the second and third iteration and let's see if we have the same answer. I will be calling kay murag usara katingog or duha tulura ang akong nasige kanungog. I will let you do the second and third iteration and I will let a certain student to tell me what is his or her answer. Okay? You can answer now, guys. Makaya ra ba 5 minutes? O taas ra ang 5 minutes?
Kaya siguro 5 minutes, ma'am.
Okay. Start. Hello, class.
So, ma'am.
Okay. Mana. I believe mana kay magtaas tong oras akong ginatag. So, I want, nagsolve mo tanan, di ba? I want, Regine. Dahil pila imong second iteration.
Hapit na miss, nag-solve pa ko miss.
Okay. Asa naman kadapit?
Sa last part miss, sa fx
Sa third? Sa
times
third o sa second?
sa third miss.
Okay. How about, may tatamit. Aldrin.
One miss. Murag. One
Sige,
point
go do.
four. 1.4970, ma'am. Hindi ko sure, ma'am.
Come again?
1.497.
Okay, how about your third iteration?
Wala pa po ng 1, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Sa second, who can give me the third? How about Jiki?
Wala pa, ma'am.
Ano kay third iteration daw?
Wala, ma'am. Second ra.
Who can give me the third? Uh, Rosemary.
Wala pa ako nahuman sa third, ma'am.
Kinsa man na sa third? Isang kamot. Paman naman sa third? Okay. I can give you up until 11:20 to solve the third iteration. Okay? Bro. Mhm. Okay. You can give me the third iteration, guys. Yes, sakto ga. 1.4484. Okay, let's do this one. For the second iteration, we have our x sub L as 0.5, our new x sub U as 1.6287. And for the function of our x sub U, that is ln of 1.6287 squared minus 0.7 equals to 0.2756. And function of x of 0.5, that is our x sub L, that would give us negative 2.0863, the same as before. Now for our x sub r, that is x sub u. Sayop ni siya, guys. Ayun na ninyo i-mind, okay? Wala na ako ma-edit. That is x sub u minus function of x sub... Sorry. That is our function of our x sub u minus x sub l minus x sub u all over the function of our x sub l minus functions our x sub u. And that would be 1.497. And given that x sub r, o sa functions at values of functions at x sub r, that is 0.1069. And after that, we must do the evaluation. Negative 2.0863 multiplied by our 0.1069, that would give us negative 0.2231, that is less than 0. So still it falls over section A, xu minus xu is equals to x sub r. So that is 1.497. Thank you sa mga naka-answer og sakto. For our third iteration, we have the same values our x sub L, but we have our new, again, values atong 1.497. So, function sa atong x sub u, value that is 0.1069. Function of our x sub L value, that is negative 2.0863. Makakuha ta sa atong x sub r as 1.4484. And what is the value of the function of x sub r? That is 0.0409. Doing the evaluation, that would give us negative 0.0854, and that is still less than 0. Therefore, we must set our x sub u equals to over x sub r. That is 1.4484. And also, we must do error estimate. Okay, we have our first, second, and third, and we have the formula there. So we have our x sub r new, that is 1.4484. Our previous x sub r, that is 1.497. So we have, sige pa na guys, estimate absolute percent relative error. That is 3.355. And take note again, the lesser the error, the better. Now guys, in doing your activity or maybe quizzes or exams, I want you to find epsilon A or the estimated absolute percent relative error in each iteration, okay? Not only the last iteration. Kaya sa man mo pagkabalungan ha naka mo stop nga iteration imong buhaton, imong tagna-tagnaon anhara ka sa pinakalasan, okay? So far kasabot, so far naka-follow,
Follow ra.
guys? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Okay. Okay. Sa day shift nga students, nahatag naman ako tanang papel, no? Guys, nahatag naman ako tanang papel. Hello.
The prelim, miss.
Prelim and activity or the seat work.
Yes, ma'am. Nahatag na, ma'am.
yes, miss.
Okay. Eh wala na akong mahatag kaya ang sa night naman lang uban. Okay. Now that ends with my PowerPoint presentation. Now for the output of today's class, okay. Gihatag na ang answer ani. Okay, and I want you to solve it on your end and handwritten niya handwritten. Isulat ninyo, magbalik-balik mo og solve para maanad mo sa formula, masag-unin ninyo ba, okay? I want you to do this. Kita ra ba akong screen?
Yes, miss.
Guys, okay. Now I want you to do this problem. Use bisection and false position to locate the root of this, okay, between 0 and 1.3. Okay, given ang answer, I want you to show me the solution. Okay, and this time, no erasure. Na naman tayo answer, so no erasure sa inyong papel. Pwede rin use print long or yellow pad. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. When ni Joe, ma'am?
I-pass na ninyo guys next meeting.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So,
Face to
face-to-face,
face
ma'am?
ata, di ba? Yes,
Oo.
face to face.
Sige, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. And I expect guys ha, nga buhaton na ninyo o maka-familiarize na mo sa formula. Kay mubo raman ang formula. Inyo radyo i-substitute ang given nga guesses, x sub u, x sub l sa given nga equation, and then kung naigihatab nga criterion, then from there, dihara mo stop. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Pagtuon dyan mo guys, because we don't know, maghatag da ikaw short quiz next meeting ani. Para may bawaan ako kung nag-solve ba mo o nagtuon ba dyan mo. Okay? Okay, walo, surprise. Walay question, clarification, bloody criticisms, violent reactions so far?
None so far, miss.
Wala ka, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So can you turn on your camera please for the documentation purposes? Hello, hello, hello. Turn on. Unsa man ni pagdaghan? Pila kay mo kabok sa day gani?
28, ma'am.
28. So na absent duha.